to the participant to share my research work with them. My screen is visible.
Yes, madam, it's visible. Yeah, now it's full screen also.
The topic is AI-based control applications in power electronics and drives. So nowadays, every power electronics and drives researcher is working in the field of renewable energy. And power electronics and drives find its place everywhere in every application which is rotating in nature. Maybe it is a missile, maybe it is a charger, mobile charger. From small thing to the biggest thing, you will find the application of power electronics and drives. And due to the non-availability of fossil fuels, depletion of fossil fuels, renewable energy is finding its place in every country. The power generation is now through renewable energy, and every government and every researcher is encouraged to think on these lines. So these two things are now interlinked. So we start the presentation with the demand. India's commercial energy demand is on the rise. You can see it is rising day by day with the development in India. India has low power capital energy and electricity consumption and also CO2 emission as compared to other countries. There is a slide seen here. It is the data of 2017. We can also have 2019 and 20. There will be slight difference on these things only. Mission 175 gigawatt by 2022. It says India made a commitment in Paris Climate Agreement to reduce emission intensity of the economy and of having at least 40% electric power installed capacity from clean energy sources by the year 2030. So you can see a small hydro power plant find 5 gigawatt generation, biomass energy 10 gigawatt, wind energy 6 gigawatt, solar energy 100 gigawatt. So in all these applications, we will find the use of power electronics as well as the electrical drives. National Solar Mission. National Solar Mission was launched on 11th January 2010, and the targets were 20 gigawatt grid connected solar power by 2022, 2 gigawatt off grid solar applications, including 20 million solar lights by 2022, 20 million square meter solar thermal collector area, to create favorable conditions for developing solar manufacturing capability in the country and support R&D and capacity building activities to achieve grid parity by 2022. In June 2015, the targets were scaled up to 100 gigawatt by 2022. Broadly consists of 40 gigawatt grid connected rooftop and 60 gigawatt large and medium sized land based solar power projects. So role of policy and regulation in renewable growth, it is very important to find to apply new regulations time to time given by the governments, because government is working very hard to reduce the tariffs and making the renewable energy resources available to the common man, and this energy produced by renewable energy systems is now available with the help of these regulations available as per the policy of the government. You can see this slide where you can see that reduction in uh, tariff policy revised. It shows that state renewable energy policies preferable tariffs uh,
मैडम आर यू देयर? मेरे ख्याल से मैडम आपका डिस्कनेक्शन हो गया है। मैडम आर यू देयर? मैडम मैडम आपको मेरी आवाज आ रही है?
Hello?
Yes,
Hello.
madam, it's audible. Yeah, it's
I'm
audible.
sorry, actually, I connected to the system here, but now I have taken my this thing, internet, personal
Yes.
internet.
Yeah.
Some
Please.
issues here, so I
Yes.
will sort it out.
Yes, madam. Yeah.
So I don't know till when you could hear me.
You are on slide fifth, I think.
Okay. That is important slide.
Yeah.
National Solar Mission.
Madam,
And
your slide is not visible. Please share the
okay.
slides. Yeah.
Okay. Today I have checked their Wi-Fi system also. It was connected when I started, but suddenly in middle of it something happened. So my slide is visible, sir?
Yes, now it is visible, madam.
Okay. So this National Solar Mission was launched on 11 January 2010, and the targets were put as 2 gigawatt grid connected solar power by 22, 2 gigawatt off grid solar applications including 20 million solar lights by 22, 20 million square meter solar thermal collector area to create favorable conditions for developing solar manufacturing capability in the country and support R&D and capacity building activities to achieve grid parity by 2022. In June 2015, the targets were revised and scaled up to 100 gigawatt by 2022. Broadly consists 40 gigawatt grid connected rooftop and 60 gigawatt large and medium sized land based power projects. Sir, am I audible now, sir?
Yes, madam, you are audible.
Okay. So, role of policy and regulation plays important role always, and when government steps in, it helps in reduction tariffs, and helps in purchase of the renewable energy systems, which were earlier very costly. So with the help of this government policies which came with the time, you can see in this slide, uh, we have got among growth in this area. And growth of solar capacity in India can be seen in this slide. And after 2014-15, you can see with the change in policy, the effect can be seen in the growth. And with these policies, finally, we have come to this lowest tariff applicable for the user, 2.44 INR per unit. And this is the result of the government policies. Earlier in 2010-11, it was 17.91, and not at the time it was not advisable to have it. But now everyone is replacing their classical or old methods with the renewable energy system. Share of renewable energy. Renewable energies, renewables 18%, thermal 66%, large hydro 14%, and nuclear 2%. All these slides are the data from NTPC through my friends. And Interface share of renewable 61 gigawatt installed capacity. You can see that wind power generation of electricity through wind power is 32.71 gigawatt, and bio power including waste of power 8.3 gigawatt, and small hydro 2.4 gigawatt, solar power 15.57 gigawatt. Share of renewable energy in electricity mix, you can see it is increasing day by day. And institutional structure. So government is working behind to promote renewable energy through MNRE, the National Institutes for Solar, Wind and Bioenergy, Solar Energy Corporation of India Limited, Alternate Hydro Energy Center for Small Hydro, and Indian Renewable Energy Development Agency. And this development in India with these government agencies, in collaboration with other things like state nodal agencies for renewable energy development, central and state electricity regulatory commission, and we can see the other partners which are also in coordination with government working, like educational institutions, they get grant to work in this area, research grants. Non-profit organizations are also working to install the renewable energy systems whenever it is applicable. R&D institutions are also working, banking and financial institutions, and the private sector. Wind power. Increased competitiveness, strong manufacturing base in India, wind turbines becoming stronger, higher, and with better CUF, forecasting and scheduling regulations getting in shape. Small hydropower, these are less than 25 megawatt. Potential is 21 gigawatt from 7,100 sites. Achievement is 4.4 gigawatt. Factors leading to reduction in solar tariff. So these may be some factors. I will not go in detail because our topic is power electronics and drive. So bright future is there for renewable energy systems. There are some challenges also. So if we are working on in this area, we have to face these challenges. Okay, so artificial intelligence pays a lot working in this field, or working in drives, or working in through power electronics. This presentation has examples of renewable energy technologies that incorporate AI. There are three major categories of renewable technologies that should be of interest to business leaders and researchers in the green energy space. We can work in the area of energy forecasting through AI, and for that, data is used to train AI algorithms to make accurate forecasts, helping to inform power supply and demand. And this data can be, we can have it through government agencies or through private vendors those have already installed such systems. Energy efficiency, we can work in this area also with artificial intelligence. AI is used to track and optimize the energy efficiency. So wherever we have the renewable energy system installed, we can have the data and we can work for energy efficiency. Energy accessibility, AI is used to model utility cost savings and provide recommendations for smart home investments. For such applications, an overview is presented, explanation of how the platform functions and outcome data and results were available. So we can use fuzzy logic, artificial neural network, genetic algorithms, expert systems. AI is a family umbrella that loosely links these techniques and separates them from traditional computing methods. Each mimics some aspects of intelligence, human problem solving, learning, knowledge, or evolution. So the first practical steps towards AI were taken in 1940s. Today, AI is reaching a historical moment because of six converging factors, which is we are having now bigger data with the help of computing devices, with the help of data loggers. So we can capture the bigger data nowadays. Processing power has been increased. You can see we are getting new generation PCs, new generation laptops, uh, and these are coming in the market and available to manpower. We have the knowledge sharing with the help of connectivity. We can, whatever data we have today, we can share it with the our friends in the America, sitting in America in the same time. So the connected globe is playing a great role in the artificial intelligence field. Open source software and data. These are available for every researcher now, and whatever their skills are, they can utilize this open source software and data and incorporate in the research work and improved algorithms. So researchers are working day by day to get the improvement in the algorithms. So whatever algorithms were available, you will find that researchers are working to improve to bring improvement in those algorithms. Research on AI algorithms has been moving quickly, especially since big data has combined with statistical machine learning algorithms. Experts expect that supervised and unsupervised learning techniques will become increasingly blended, and that such hybrid techniques will open the way for human machine collaborative learning and for AI to develop more advanced human like capabilities. And finally, automated intelligence. Systems that make repeated labor intensive tasks requiring intelligence and automatically complete them. Resistance welding is one example. So, automated intelligence is now capturing the mind of researchers, and they are working in the field. Assisted intelligence, augmented intelligence, and autonomous intelligence. These are the different fields where researchers can work. Okay, so now come the basic model. If we want to work on AI, on electrical systems involving power electronics and drives. So machine, knowledge of motors, knowledge of control techniques, knowledge of electronics, all three are, and control system. All four are the systems which connect, which with the help of each one, knowledge of these four fields: machine, control, electronics, and electrical energy, electrical engineering. So the person working on in power electronics and drives becomes versatile. And I will start the slides which will give the basic modeling where we can apply the AI. We can work with power electronics and we can work with drives. So vector control, permanent magnet synchronous motor drive system. Vector control is not new. It was started in 80s when computers were available to the researchers and power electronics came in was available in the market to the researchers. So with the help of these techniques, this technique is nothing but utilization of complex AC drives uh, similar to the simple DC drive. In this technique, we utilize induction motor, we utilize permanent magnet synchronous motor, uh, and we control it as easy as the control of DC motor. Actually, some of the slides are not visible when I am changing the slides. Actually, in these two slides, I put my figures, but in this screen sharing, I cannot find them. It is, can you see my screen, sir?
यस मैडम, योर स्क्रीन इज विजिबल और थंबनेल में वो फिगर भी है, लेकिन वो
हाँ,
इस
तो
पे इस पे इस पे प्रेजेंट नहीं हो रहा है। नेक्स्ट
क्यों नहीं आ रहा सर?
आई डोंट नो मैडम, ऐसा होना तो नहीं चाहिए।
It is for the first time I can see here. जैसे
या
मैं इनको enlarge करूँ, it's interesting slide. अगर ये फिगर नहीं दिखेंगी तो how can I present, sir?
या यू कैन डू वन थिंग मैडम, एक बार इसको क्लोज करके और दोबारा ओपन करें।
ठीक है सर। ओ, ये शॉर्टकट दिख रहा था। हाँ, इम्पोर्टेंट स्लाइड तो बहुत छूट गई थी, ये पावर इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स था। So actually, I could not see these slides. These are important slides. So block diagram for grid connected solar energy system and wind turbine. This is the block diagram when a power electronics engineer works on renewable energy system. This power electronics is required. If it is he is working on renewable energy system, the PV array will be taken from the photovoltaic cells, and this input is received by the inverter from the PV array. Some input is received by the inverter in the form of DC power, and DC is converted into AC using inverter, and this inverter needs some feedback controller to convert the power from DC to AC, and it is fed to the panel. And um, if we have to connect it to utility grid, so between panel and utility grid, we need to connect the uh, meter to record this electricity. This meter will show positive when power is coming from to the load from utility grid to the load, or when power is generated by a PV array and load is not requiring that power and PV array is sending the power to utility grid, then this meter will read negative, so that the customer or the user can get the benefit of installation of renewable energy system. In second system, which is generating the power using wind turbine. Wind turbine are having the induction generators or permanent magnet generators. These generators generate AC, and we need the power coming from this wind turbine in the form of AC, but with the 50 hertz supply system if we need to connect it to the utility grid in India. So for that, we have to first convert this DC to this AC to DC using AC-DC converter, and then again DC to AC at desired frequency. So DC to AC at desired frequency, we need feedback control, and feedback control is required getting the information from the output, whatever the load demand is this, and whatever the demand by frequency demand, or the power demand by utility grid, it is fulfilled here. We have to synchronize with utility grid also. So some feedback is required to synchronize, and as per the application of load. And again, the power meter, the meter will be used for the similar reasons which it was used in the above system. So this is a block diagram where power electronics and electrical drive you can see in the form of converters and wind turbine. So we have discussed this in during my previous engagement here. So this is again, the technique includes such names as fuzzy logic, artificial neural network, genetic algorithm, expert system, artificial intelligence. So this is the example of robotic arm, and using some AI technique where there is no manual interference. This machine is doing this operation automatically. So here AI is utilized, and similar system, any researcher, any student can work in their lab. I have many papers on robotic arm, AI based robotic arm, and these are, you can see in IEEE transaction or Robotica magazine. So any researcher can work on these things if you have some system available in the laboratory. So this I have covered. Now, vector control PMSM drive system. So whenever we have to work on robotic system or some system which is moving as per the application, we there is some motor behind that, and there is some power electrons behind that. So if it is a very precise control required, then we have to take the help of permanent magnet synchronous motor. If we need an application which is running regularly 24 hours, and it does not require maintenance, then we have to use induction motor or induction generator. So here the this is my research where PMSM was used, permanent magnet synchronous motor. That is the motor which is having very low inertia, and its response is very high, and whenever very precise control is required, we have to use PMSM. So to control PMSM, we need feedback control loop, and you can see that reference speed, the speed when on which we want to run this system. This is the reference speed, and omega r, and it has to be compared with the actual speed of the motor, and the actual speed is recorded by the resolver or encoder and fed back to the system here, and the error between reference speed and actual speed is fed to the speed controller. Now this speed controller can be a classical controller like PI and PID, or it can be AI based controller, any fuzzy logic controller, any neural network based controller, or it can be PI controller, PID controller, and their gains can be tuned using AI based tuning techniques. So we can work on the speed controller also, and after the speed controller, the whatever input is fed to the two-phase, three-phase converter system, we need to have the limiter, and this limiter is essentially required so that the data processed by speed controller should not be should be well within the limit, so that motor cannot burn. So we have to think about the motor because it is electrical motor, and it is fed by a CCVSI voltage source inverter, and the finally voltage source inverter has to generate electricity in the form of voltage and current in the range which for which the PMSM is specified. There are specifications for PMSM, and the voltage limit and the current limit should not exceed those limits. So that we have this limiter just after speed controller. And finally, after this limiter, we get a torque component of current, that is IQ star, that is the torque component of the current. And in permanent magnet synchronous motors, as these are permanent magnet based motors, we don't require their magnetization from the grid or from the outside from the supply lines, because this magnetization is provided by the permanent magnet itself. So when this magnetization is fixed due to magnets available in the PMSM, so our we cannot apply the flux weakening. Flux weakening means we cannot um, uh, uh, reduce the field current because it is not generated through field current. The magnetization is not generated through field current. So what it is done here in PMSM, we have to take the current component, that is ID star, from the feedback, and we have to extract ID star, and ID star will be this is extracted from the information taken from the resolver only, and with the help of mathematics, and then finally uh, mathematically we will apply the flux weakening, and this flux weakening will be in the form of reduction in the ID star component, that is mathematically done by the engineer inside the computer, not actually done. We are not reducing any field current, we are just reducing the ID component which we have extracted from the information of the speed which we have taken as a feedback from the resolver. So now this two-phase to three-phase conversion was always there in the mathematics. So with the help of mathematics inside the computer, we can take the help of a microcontroller also, or we can take the help of um, some DSPs to get all this done inside the computer. And finally, two-phase means IQ and ID will be converted into IABC star. So two-phase currents will be now will be converted into three-phase currents, IA, IB, IC, which is actually required by the current in outside the computer. So this all is happening inside the computer calculation. And this resolver is giving us the information about the speed which is outside the computer, and that is fed to the computer with the help of ADC, and inside the computer from this information we are extracting the theta angle, and we are also extracting the speed, and from the speed we are extracting ID star. So this all is happening inside the computer. And finally IA, IB, IC are available. These are the reference three-phase currents. So these are the reference three-phase currents which are compared with the actual three-phase currents. So actual three-phase currents can be taken with the help of sensors, and these are compared actually outside the computer, uh, and with the help of microcontroller, and this comparison is done, and finally the error between this reference current and actual current error is generating the 6 pulses to be fed to the uh, this CCVSI, and these the commands here in 3 phases. These are 6 commands which are connected to the gate of CCVSI, 6 gate signals of the CCVSI, and these are generating, giving the this thing a facility to CCVSI, these gate commands, so that the CCVSI can produce three-phase voltage and current as per the requirement of reference speed. Now, when we get this voltage and current and frequency to be fed to the BMSM, this will be such that this motor will run at reference speed. And reference speed is required by the load, whatever application we have, it like this. So you have seen this line diagram and how it is done. This is shown here with the help of block diagrams. So here these are 6 IGBTs, and on the gate signal there are 6 drivers. and driver will be connected to the gate of each one of it, and to the driver there is a comparator unit, and these are current controllers which are controlling IABC reference and IABC actual, and IABC actual is taken from these sensors, and reference currents are coming from two-phase to three-phase conversion block, and the error is finally converted into the drive signal to the inverter. So here you can see the mathematics from the resolver. Rotor position detector will be there, and that will be giving sine and wave generation circuit, and the speed detection circuit is also there. These are the PCBs we need to form, and PCBs, after the PCBs there will be analog to digital converter, and that will be fed to the microcontroller through which you are working. It may be DSpace if you are working on MATLAB, or it may be NI system where you can perform these things, or it may be Texas Instrument based DSP controllers. You can do all these things. So voltage source inverter, PMSM drive, PMAC drive. This is the just line diagram showing all those things. So modeling of PM synchronous speed and synchronous motor. If you are working on AI based speed control of motor and you want to apply AI, you need to have a model of that motor. Then only you can apply AI, and that will be giving you the result which are actually required by any motor. So here some assumptions are made for the modeling of this motor, and modeling of converters simultaneously done in MATLAB or in microcontroller on which we are working. So these are the equations of PI controller. Modeling of PID controller, you can see these are available in literature. R. Krishnan book gives all these things, and there are 1998 papers on these modeling. 1988, 89, lots of papers are there of modeling of PMSM. This is PID controller. Earlier was PI controller, then it is sliding mode controller. So this modeling may be available. You can see in the VK Bose book. So, but you need to have the gains. The work, actual work is to find out the gains of sliding mode controller. So this is the block diagram of sliding mode controller, and this is the this line diagram of sliding mode controller where C1, C2, S1, S2 are the gains you need to find out. Modeling of artificial intelligence based controllers of PMSM drive. The same drive we can have AI based controller, and the same drive as a motor can work on missile, and same drive as a generator can work on renewable energy, wind energy systems. So for whatever application you are using it, you should know the modelings. So first is the there is first thing which was fuzzy logic speed controller, and now it is old technology. We are working on the latest fuzzy logic speed controllers. So but we should know because it works better than PI and PID controller. So what is this fuzzy logic controller? When we apply fuzzy logic controller, we should know the system first, and knowing the system we can write some rules, and rule base is formed if the researcher has the knowledge of the system. Prior knowledge is required, and based on that prior knowledge we have to fuzzify the system. We have to bring down between 0 and 1, and after applying the control using fuzzy logic we have to defuzzify the system to get the signal in the real world. So if we have designed the fuzzy logic system, our controller works as a black box. We will design it, and we can treat it as a black box. Whatever input we will give, this black box will treat that data, that input, and it will give the better result than the PI and PID controller. So this is the MATLAB based model of fuzzy logic controller. Here the input for PMSM is nothing but the error between reference speed and actual speed. This error is again sent to directly here, and having derivative, multiplying it with the derivative, then gain, and then saturation block like this. And then this is this fuzzy logic controller is designed using FIS editor, where we have to give membership functions and rule base here. But identify these gains, gain 1, gain 3, and gain is very tedious task. Here, the first gain 3 is the normal gain. If we have 1000, our motor is running at 1000 RPM, and 0 to 1000 RPM, and we can give this as 1 upon 1000, this gain. But these two gains, gain 1 and gain, needs some tuning, and this tuning can take much longer time. So another controller is ANFIS, Adaptive Network Based Fuzzy Inference System Controller. This has the advantage of fuzzy logic as well as neural network. So a researcher should know the backpropagation algorithm as well as rule base. So it will give better result than fuzzy logic. This is again using MATLAB ANFIS controller. You will again design the fuzzy logic controller, but a tuning through backpropagation is required here. And if you are working on neural network controller, so you need to decide input layer, hidden layer, and output layers for the system. Input layer based upon how many inputs are there, output layer based upon how many output you want. But hidden layer can be 1, 2, or more based on computational device on which you are working, because uh, larger number of hidden layer will give better result, but computational device should be such that it can be handled. This large data can be handled through these hidden layers. So this is the line diagram of neural network. This is the original plant, original controller. Then neural network controller is designed based upon the architecture, and it needs the uh, learning algorithm also. So once it is learned, it gives better result than the previous controller, which was used in the system. So this is again MATLAB model of the PMSM system, which was earlier running with PI controller, which I showed in my previous slides. This is the MATLAB model of the same motor, and here you can see the PI controller, the before and after of the PI controller. We have connected two workspace uh, connectors, that input and output. And what is the work of input and output blocks here? These are storing the data of input and output of PI controller into the workspace of MATLAB, and this data will be utilized to tune the neural network. So after tuning the neural network, we get these two results: regression graph and the error graph. So here you can see error is minimized, and the regression graph is linear. So this, if you achieve these two things, you will get better neural network, and that will give you the better output than PI and PID and fuzzy logic controller. But sometimes researchers do not get this linear regression curve. They can get scattered one. So with scattered regression curve, you will not get better results. You have to try and try again to get this linear curve in your algorithm. So once this tuned, neural network is tuned, and we can write a code so that after tuning, our code generates the neural network block of a controller. Then in our model of MATLAB model, this PI controller is replaced with the neural network controller. We will replace this, and we will tune it again so that this model runs with the new neural network controller. And once we tune it, we get better result than the earlier controllers, all controllers. So, and this is the next one, recurrent neural controller. This is better option than the neural network controller. Here the output data of the controller is fed back again to give better result than the neural network controller. This is the structure of recurrent RNN. So RNN also some algorithms are written, and after the training of those algorithms, we get again a block to be replaced in our original model. So these are the parameters which is on which I was working, and these are required for this modeling. And finally, these results are obtained. We can see in one of the result, this is SMC sliding mode controller, this is PID, and this is PI. This is three-phase motor, so three-phase currents can be seen, and torque can be seen. Initially, motor runs at high torque here between 0 to 0.15. Initially, because it has to magnetize, when it is magnetized, it comes to its normal no load speed, and then we apply the reversal in the speed. It attains its speed, it runs at a constant speed, then the speed is reduced and reversed. So the reversal of the frequency can be seen when the speed is reversing, and then it again settle to no load current and no load torque. Then we increase the load torque slightly, and you can see the load torque is increased, and the actually current will also increase. So this thing happening in all those things we have applied. Initially we started at no load. We gave some reference speed of 340. Then we gave the reference speed reverse of 340, and uh, and we see these results for three controllers. And again the variations, different variations were applied. 340, then finally 1000 rpm. 1000 rpm is the more than the rated speed, because rated speed is 720 rpm, but we run this motor above the rated speed. So to run the motor above the rated speed, flux weakening is required. As I told in my earlier slide, that flux weakening is done by getting the information from speed and extracting the ID, and ID is reduced. ID means flux component of current, that is reduced, and when flux component is reduced, the speed will be high. So this is shown here with the help of PI, PID and SMC controllers. Again, reversal in very high speed is shown here in all three slides. And this is the comparison. And finally, here you can see SMC controller is behaving better as compared to PI and PID. Then flux weakening, PI and fuzzy logic controller. Then ANN, ANFIS, and the below one is in previous slide RNN. ANFIS, ANN, and RNN. You can see in fuzzy logic controller. You can see in every fuzzy logic controller you will find this. This is not reaching. There is some steady state error in all fuzzy logic controllers. But here also this is ANFIS, you can see steady state error here. But in neural network controller and RNN, you will not find that much steady state error. So it is better than the fuzzy logic also, and faster also. So speed reversal and load perturbation near full load with PI speed controller and fuzzy logic speed controller, similar data and controller different. ANFIS, ANN, and RNN. RNN, ANN are working better than ANFIS and fuzzy. Speed controller is speed reversal. In flux weakening, actually it is very tough to apply flux weakening at very high speed. So this was also tested, and I have number of papers on this speed control, fuzzy logic, and ANN of PMSM in my PhD research. And based on this, I would like to inform that I was called by Air Chief Marshal. He was working on missile system, and he called me to help in his project. So I started this with him, but unfortunately he got stuck in some accident, and this project could not go ahead. And he was made retired because of that accident, and we could not work later on this project. But he showed me all his work done by him on PMSM, fuzzy logic. He wanted the real-time implementation in his laboratory. So these are some more results. And the comparative study of AI-based speed controllers, you can see RNN worked better if we compare all other controllers. Actually, whenever we talk about drive system, it should be sensorless, because some applications sensors are either very costly or will give not that much liberty to the motor to control effortlessly. So sensorless control is always desired so that motor can run independently without the help of resolver, because resolver is connected inside the rotor on the shaft. But if we have sensorless control, we will get this information from three wires which are going as a supply wires to the motor. We will take the information as in the form of voltage and control current, and that from that information outside the motor, we will find out mathematically the information about uh, speed, which was taken earlier with the help of resolver or encoder. So sensorless control is always preferred over sensored control. There are advantage of sensorless control, and here you can see now the resolver is not there, encoder is not there. We are taking the information from outside the PMSM with the help of sensors here from three wires. Motor is not disturbed, it is running, it is connected to the load, but resolver is not connected to the motor here. So motor is free, and similar things can be applied easily. There are some limitations of sensorless control. If we are working, it may be um, complex also. There are various schemes for sensorless drive. If we are working in this field, you have to explore. This is the comparison. In some cases we need model, whatever modeling I have shown, but for some cases we don't require model. So I have also worked in this for the sensorless control, and uh, this last one, artificial intelligence based control, in which model is not required. But as a researcher, if you have to design this without model technique, without model, you need to first do coding or develop a system which works with the model. So I first worked on observer based MRAC Kalman filter. I designed this and then replaced this Kalman filter, this sensorless control technique, with artificial intelligence based observer. So you can see model this state observer was designed based on the mathematical operations equations available in the books, and these 6 gains were identified and put in these 3 equations. And this is the Simulink model of speed estimation block, because now we have to estimate the speed, not with the help of resolver. And this is the PWM generation block, because we need 6 cases. And this is very complex model for state observer which I designed. You can see the complexity in each and every block. There are number of equations written, and that is giving us only 2 outputs, uh, estimated speed and angle estimated. With the help of so many equations, we are just finding out 2 outputs. But if we have these inputs and this output, these 2 outputs, we will just replace this bit in between information with the help of black box if we are working on ANN, and that will be simple for us, but designing this is very tough. Here, this is our state observer, which I have designed here. So this blue one is that one, and here we don't require any information from motor now. The estimated speed is giving connected to the feedback, and estimated angle is connected to the feedback. So feedback from motor is not required. So again, the results were compared, and you will find that better one is the ANN. all such angles, speed, how it at the time of just reaching that speed, how many oscillations are there in speed. These were just closely mapped, and how the speed is increasing smoothly with better controllers. You can see here sliding mode controller is reaching fast, PID is not reaching fast, neural network is here, fuzzy logic is here, but sliding mode controller is reaching fast, but it gives very large number of oscillations. But if you work with neural network, it is very smooth transition. So this can be seen here. This is the current and for all from all controllers. This is the speed reversal, current, information of current, comparison of speed reversal, load perturbation. If we change the load, you can see sliding mode controller, how many pulses, how many oscillations you can see here. But in neural network, there is no such oscillation found. So this is close view of similar things. And the conclusion is PMSM drive with neural network controller is faster among SMC, PI, PID, fuzzy, and neural network speed controllers. The speed, torque, and current response verify that with neural network control, the state space observer based PMSM drive is robust and smooth control is obtained. Hence, may be used where precise control is needed, such as satellites, aircraft operation, etc. So this is because I was working on PMSM, so I was finding it difficult to get information using resolver. The PCB which I designed was very complicated, so I found a solution that why not to replace this resolver with AI based information. So we just took this RDC hardware first, and taking information from it, we found this algorithm which was placing this the requirement of resolver in the PMSM. So this was done using this MATLAB model. Here you can see this is the information from resolver coming, and this is the PI controller. And finally, with the help of DSpace, DSpace is the type of microcontroller available in the lab. Working on this, we can easily use our Simulink model as a code to implement in hardware. So this is that model which was used by me to replace the sensorless the resolver. So this is the MATLAB model which is used in DSpace to replace the sensor with the neural network. So these are the output. Actually, resolver has the information coming from the motor which is modulated, and we have to demodulate it and get the speed information from this signal. So this is done by me using AI. So this is the output and demodulated signal, modulated signal, then demodulated, modulated, and the speed obtained in various conditions. Again, the similar thing with different inputs. So again, this was another project where wind energy system was developed, and AI was controlled for tip speed ratio, to control the tip speed ratio. Here also you can see PMSG, permanent magnet synchronous generator, was controlled through this power electronics, and using control systems we are controlling the tip speed ratio of this uh, um, wind energy system. So this is actually control based project. So in this, transform functions are utilized, not the power electronics functions. Simscape library. So this is control strategy. Fuzzy logic controller was used to control the TSR. Fuzzy logic controller. This is the rule base, and wind energy you can see variations in the wind's speed, and this is the output for the similar wind variation using fuzzy logic controller and the comparison. So this is also available in the form of research paper. If you will find under Google Scholar. So this is all about fuzzy logic controller, AI-based AI control of power electronics and drive system. Thank you. If there are some questions, I am available.
Thank you, madam, for giving such a wonderful and minute detailing of controller design. And I think you have told with the scratch to with the from a scratch level how to design it from a basic MATLAB model and deployment it. So participants, if you have any question, you can unmute yourself and ask madam directly, or you can write it down in your chat box. कई लोग अनम्यूट कर लेते हैं तो कई बार जो है वो बहुत ज्यादा बैंडविड्थ का प्रॉब्लम आता है, तो यू कैन राइट इट डाउन इन चैट बॉक्स एंड आस्क योर क्वेश्चन. It will be better. So anybody may you may write down in your chat box, or you may unmute yourself also to ask any question.
I would like to ask, जो FTP attend कर रहे हैं, those are electrical engineering student or some teachers are there?
Madam, all these are somewhere faculty members. Almost of there are 4-5% person are PhD scholars and PG students, but 90% of the participants are faculty at somewhere, and they are all spread all across the country. We have the majority of candidates from Maharashtra and MP, and then all across spread out. It's so it's basically being they apply directly onto the AICT portal itself.
Okay.
So
We also conducted 2 FDPs in NSUT
yeah, madam.
during lockdown online.
Yeah, yeah. For earlier, these all these FDPs are. So there is a question from Das. Okay, he just send it. Thank you, madam.
Yes.
Mr.
So
Suraj,
much
you
for
don't
this.
have any question. Okay, so nobody have any question. I tell you, everybody, madam is the best resource person in controller design and deployment. I have gone through personally research paper written by madam. He has a wonderful work in ANSYS systems, fuzzy logics, neural networks, sliding mode controllers, SMC. May say all kind of controller. I think he have attempted and there and compared them very well. Madam, I have. I think 6 months back or 8 months back, I was telling somebody that doing work is something different and presenting it is something entirely different. So I think your result presentation to the paper is extremely good.
Thank you, sir. Thank
So, Madam, I think most of the participant, Janak Kumar Patel have written, thank you, madam. Sri Devi Hadyal is taken, thank you, madam. One question is there. What are the benefit of SMC compared to PI controller?
Actually, sir, uh, Jisha. Actually, in sliding mode controller, we have a trajectory as a reference, and our controller works above or below that trajectory. Final aim is to achieve that trajectory. So it is very fast to achieve that trajectory as compared to PI controller. In PI controller, there are proportional gain and integral gain, and because it is a classical controller, it does not have that dynamics which sliding mode controller can give. You have seen the result that by controlling that sliding mode controller, finally finding out proper gains, The results were very fast, faster than every controller on which I have worked. But since it is very fast, it can give the oscillations. So this is the difference.
So, any more question? So, thank you, ma'am, thank you. I'm really, we are very, uh, what we can say, we are obliged that you accepted our invitation, and despite of your busy schedule, you managed to have a time of more than an hour to spend among the young faculty members and research scholars. So it's really nice of you, and uh, we are highly obliged indeed, and may have thankful to you. So thank you, madam, for being here, and we will be trying to again to ask you for same kind of presentation or same kind of involvement with the research affinity. Thank you, madam.
Thank you, sir. Thank
Thank you, madam.
Thank you. Should I leave now?
Madam, you can. Madam, there is one more request from Mr. Saroj Kumar Das. Madam, can you share the slides? So, if possible, madam, if you can send some material to distribute among the participants.
Sure,
You
sir.
may. Yeah.
Actually, in these slides, you can see my papers
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
Google Scholar. My paper in which I am the first author. All the material you will get from there.
Yeah. Yeah, ma'am. I will communicate in that. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Participants, we will be meeting again for the last session at 4 p.m. And after that session, we will be continue to that. We will be having the validatory function. So kindly be prepared for that. And at around 4 to 5, we will be having a technical session, and post to that, after 15 minutes of time, we will be having validity from 5:15 to around 5:30 or 5:45. Okay. So thank you for joining, and we'll be joining 4 o'clock at 4 o'clock.